Welcome back, everyone, to the SLTV StarSeries Hearthstone Season 1 LAN Finals. Again, with me, Aquablood, we've got 2 matches to go for today to determine who goes to the playoffs, and they're very important. They could shift everything.
Yep, we have Ties, as Ties has gone through already. Orange has potentially already gone through.
He's already gone, yeah, he's in.
But Orange gets to play again now versus StanCifka. StanCifka will be fighting now to guarantee his spot. Dog has just played his last game. He lost to Ties, and he will be almost relying on other people's performances to hopefully push through and find his way into day number 3, sorry.
Yeah, so the big upset, the biggest upset that could occur here is if StanCifka loses the match against Orange. He goes down 2-3, and then Colento wins versus Cypher. There will be a 3-way tie between StanCifka, Dog, and Colento, which is going to be a really insane 3-way tie. We're going to have to do tiebreaker matches afterwards to determine who goes through, but that really implies that StanCifka has to lose and Colento has to win back-to-back, which is not guaranteed, of course, but it is one of the many possible outcomes.
I mean, it's 50-50, right? Each
Maybe
way.
like 25%.
25%, yeah. So, yes, looking good for some of the players, I suppose, who want these other players to lose.
Course, always.
But StanCifka, a very strong opponent. Orange been performing exceptionally well, so maybe StanCifka can find his win with his recent form. But Orange, he's been on fire.
He's been doing very well. Again, StanCifka was saying earlier, Orange has a little bit of an advantage, right? Because he came in late and we didn't know he was going to be there. So our lineups aren't necessarily taking his playstyle into account. The much more aggressive playstyle. He's very good at it. Whereas Oskaka, which was supposed to take that spot, he was prepared against. People already knew what he was going to bring. So Orange may be benefiting a little bit from that, but overall, he's still a great player, and I don't think this will account for everything.
And these players, they have a lot to say about the tournament, Hearthstone, and their lifestyles as professional gamers. So we're going to take you to a video where they'll tell you all about it.
Smooth.
I never enjoyed, the adventures or, I don't know, some casual modes, but it's something completely different. And in case you want to relax and just, have fun or whatever, that's something you can do. But I'm a very, competitive person, so I would say it's for stuff I prefer to play with real decks, with real opponents, and the real battle, not just hanging out with the casual mode against some boss who has 100 lives. But I completely understand that someone likes it. In the last times, I really like Warcraft 3, despite its very, very old game. I really like it nowadays because when I was playing the World Cyber Arena qualifier, there were Warcraft, and I was really impressed by the game, and at the moment I really like it and I'm practicing it a bit, so that's my last joy, but I'm really impressed by games in general, so that's it. To be honest, I'm not the fan or whatever, follower of the books or the consumer of movies. I just love the game and I don't need a story behind, or I've never read a single, picture of the card. If you would ask me what's on the Ragnaros picture, I would have no clue, to be honest, because I just know it's 8/8 which randomly shoots for 8, and I would tell you in which deck it's good and in which is not, but I have no clue what's on the picture. So I'm not obsessed about the universe or about the World of Warcraft or about whatever. I'm just impressed by the game, how it works, and being competitive in this era, but I have no clue about anything else.
So in a nutshell, what I gathered from this interview is that we could literally have nothing but blue, shapeless, not shapeless, but textureless cubes to play around with, and he would be fine with that. StanCifka just doesn't mind.
He just likes the stats, right, and the mechanics. That's all he cares about. He said he doesn't keep up with the lore. I mean, the Warcraft lore and all the stuff that comes with that in Hearthstone is brilliant. I love some of the card interactions, especially Kayn when he goes up against Garrosh. Garrosh, you are not fit to rule the Horde, and it's just you're cool, Kayn,
A little reference to the Warcraft stuff. I mean, I like it because I've played so much of the game, but I can understand. I think most people who play Hearthstone actually have no knowledge of the previous. They know the franchise maybe by name, but not necessarily storyline-wise. And even some people who play World of Warcraft have no idea what the story is. They just play the game.
That's the beauty of Hearthstone. It's tapped into multiple audience.
Right.
Audiences who enjoy the Blizzard franchises, the Warcraft universe, but also players who enjoy stuff like Magic, Yu-Gi-Oh! Also players who just want to try something new and play something on their tablets, play on their phones. It's so accessible. It's so accessible.
Top game. All right. It looks like a card game. I don't know what this is. And then they create an account. They make something. It's pretty easy to pick up. As far as his opponent, Orange also has got something to say, of course, as always. And we'll let you watch that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a big fan of the casual part. I'm a competitive player most of all. Of course, I like whenever there comes out a new expansion or adventure, but mostly it's because there are more cards I can use in ranked mode. So I wouldn't say I'm a big casual fan, but I definitely see the appeal for it to other players. People are good at different things. Like Saleh, for example, is a warrior expert. We have Firebat being a very, very good rogue player, for example. I have Amnesia, he's great with Druid. Amas knows his priest very well. And I like to get help from the experts of any given class whenever preparing decks for tournaments too. My best class is, a lot of people will be disappointed, it will be a Hunter. That's the deck I feel most comfortable with, and I know all different sorts of playstyles with the deck, and every time I bring a Hunter to a tournament, I feel very comfortable that I'm on my own, can conclude what the best kind of build for any given metagame is, and also the deck I'm most comfortable playing in the entire game. My favorite card is Loatheb. I just think that's a very unique effect that is not broken in any way and just interacts with gameplay on a very different level than any other card does, and it's also very powerful. The nerf of Warzone Commander, while I agree with the balance change, I really agree with them changing the card and totally making it a new card, because the effect of Warzone Commander was way too powerful for Hearthstone. Charge is the most powerful keyword in the entire game, and not something that should be granted to minions that are not supposed to have a charge. So while I agree with the balance change, fully, I don't agree with doing it this close to BlizzCon. I realize why they do it, because from a viewer's perspective, it is great that there will be no Patron Warrior. A lot of people will be more excited seeing how the metagame develops without Patron. But then again, the players are being put in a very awkward situation now, where all their practice they've done for Road to BlizzCon regionals and throughout the whole year has been very based on a Patron metagame, and all of that is just swept under the rug, and they have to start from the beginning, and they only have 2 weeks to do so. So I think they put the players in a pretty bad position, but those are also just like 16 people out of 30 million that are playing, so I can understand why Blizzard did it. I think Patron Warrior has been the most annoying and boring thing, even though I am playing it a lot myself. I don't think the gameplay of that deck is very interactive and fun, but that is soon to be not a problem anymore. So yeah, I'm pretty happy about how things are right now. I would probably try even harder than Blizzard already has to make the classes more balanced. As for now, it's been a lot of like the 3 or 4 most popular classes. I haven't played a lot in tournaments. I would try really hard to push the classes that are not being played as much right now. I would try to make Shaman a lot better, Priest a lot better, and just, you know, it is a very hard thing to do, but something I would definitely put my full focus on if I were a developer of Hearthstone. Shaman, it is on a fundamental level, there's a lot of RNG involved in Shaman, so it's a class that is very hard to make good. I think they need to really push the boundaries with Overload, just like they tried to do with Totem Golem, which turned out to not be as powerful as I think the Blizzard would have hoped. But I think the key is to the Overload cards that exist now are quite underpowered, even though they have very strong effects. And I think I would try to push the overload cards and the overload theme a lot more.
So Orange just crying over the fate of Shamans. I think he's not the only one out there who feels for them.
No, he's very vocal about the balance and how he thinks Blizzard should push more. And I think Blizzard have tried, which we briefly discussed a moment ago. I mean, a 3-4 on 2, you would think that'd be great, right? But it didn't work out. Shaman had too many problems already.
Right.
Which couldn't be fixed by that or the Thunder Bluff Aspirant, right?
It's like, how do you deal, like, how does a 3-4 with Overload 1 compare to Shielded Minibot? Oh, it trades 1 for 1, but you're overloaded, so you really didn't accomplish too much. It's been a really big issue, as you said. Maybe we'll see eventually the boundaries of Overload being pushed. I suspect, based on past design choices, they will not rework any of the old stuff. Rather, they will try, from the current set of cards that we have, expand upon that and maybe make them better.
Yeah, that seems to be the game plan. Expand on the classes with expansions, give them more tools, and hopefully that'll give them enough to push. No Shamans today, or yesterday even. No Shamans at all.
Where's a Rogue? I didn't see a Rogue either. Oh, wait, there's none either. That's a big surprise.
And
right?
Rogue's so fun as well. Such a shame.
I mean, Dog really likes Rogues. I mean, we were talking about that in the Players' Lounge at some point. He was saying he wishes that he could play his Rogue, but it's not possible. So, class-wise, StanCifka has his Control Warrior, his Druid, and his Handlock, and Orange has his Patron. I think we still don't know, right? It was always banned prior to this.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
Druid is another option, and he's got the Tempo Mage that we've seen work.
And Orange made it clear in his interview his strongest class is Hunter. And StanCifka's banned Hunter every game regardless. But hitting Orange's Hunter might be a bit more impactful than it would be to any other player because of how much time Orange has invested in that class.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense, actually, the way when you think about it that way. Now, StanCifka has the coin Wild Growth with a Shade of Nax Shredder curve. It's hard not to be happy about that.
Now that's looking beautiful here. Going to be able to curve out nicely. If he finds a 5-drop as well, and then a 6-drop, as Druids tend to do, he will be given a fighting chance against a matchup which is considered quite bad.
So Orange, do you think he's going to go for the RNG missiles on the Shade if it gets played?
The orangey missiles, did you say?
The RNG.
I said orangey missiles.
Oh yeah, Orangesus. I think we found a new name for that guy.
Yeah, I think you have to.
Orangesus?
Oh,
never
just play
mind.
that instead. That's a good card.
I had it in my mind that you might try to just RNG, but now that you've picked up a flame cannon.
That's just as orangey. A nice bit of orange in the flame there. Taking out that.
These spawns are getting really fruity.
Nice curve coming out for StanCifka as well. Gets a Shredder, can go into Azure Drake next turn. But we might just see... I don't think we'll see this Scientist being popped just yet.
I like popping it if you expect the opponent to curve. The thing is, what is he going to play on 5 in that deck? And Azure Drake, yeah, he kills that with your Shredder. That's pretty bad. With the Shredder that he has already, which means ultimately you're really not getting that much because he uses a damaged Shredder that you lost a Mad Scientist on to kill what he gave you. So I think ultimately not popping it is the correct play, and it forces StanCifka to determine whether or not he ever wants to attack into it, because it will take some time and resources.
Especially if, well, it gives StanCifka time at least, if it sticks around, to find that Daenerys Spirant.
Right, that's right.
He can play that, or maybe even just drop a Big Game Hunter, because he has 2 of them in like most of his decks. So Big Game Hunter can be an expendable resource he can use for something like a Mirror Entity.
So Orange here will be able to use his spells to great effect. He does have another Shredder, which is amazing, and he can use the Arcane Missiles to do whatever he wants here. And what comes out? A Patient Assassin. No swipe for StanCifka right now. I don't think he'll be playing anything anytime soon.
Nothing of value, at least, especially if a 1/1 can just slam into it and take it out.
Oh my god, that actually really hurts StanCifka's follow-up plays. He might have to play Shade of Naxxramas, let it sit there, find a swipe, and go from there.
Just waiting for a swipe, though, doesn't feel great, and he does actually get some entity down, so not only does he have to
Stable Ghoul would solve the problem, right?
A Stable Ghoul, for sure. Let's see what it is.
Oh! And here we go again.
I love this guy when he shows up, because he just creates chaos.
Welcome back, friend.
We saw how much of an effect he had on one of the previous games. I think it was yesterday. Logocho played a vital role in Orange winning, I think, with Hunter. I think it was Orange who won with Hunter, or maybe it was ties. But either way, Lorcacho, he's awesome.
This is literally the most impactful card in this case, right? Like, I mean, not impactful, but in that it's a card that when you're orange, you don't know whether or not you want to kill it. Like, do you need to kill this? Do you not have to? I mean, you could kill with a Shredder, then maybe Frostbolt, the mid-game Hunter. I think overall Orange will be more than happy to just kill Cho. Because at this point, when he needs to use Frostbolt, it's a bigger drawback than not.
Yeah, that seems fine. Poor Cho. I was hoping he'd stick around, make things interesting.
Yeah, but it gives StanCifka. I mean, StanCifka is still having to deal with this, this patient assassin.
Yeah,
as long as Orange doesn't make a mistake, he's gonna be way ahead.
Just sitting there waiting for that that big card to hit. What do you throw at the patient assassin? I guess Ancient of Law.
I mean, if you pop the Shredder, there's a chance that something that kills the patient assassin comes out. We've got the Unstable Ghoul, we've got the Explosive Sheep. I'm not sure if there's anything else on 2 that would deal AoE damage, I forget. But as far as I know, those are the 2 cards. Doomslayer as well would also take care of it. So
Ancient of Law, Innovate, Swipe.
You know what? Now that you say it, it actually might just be the best play he has.
I mean, if he throws his Ancient of Law down and it gets taken out by the patient assassin, I mean, he had to throw something, right? It actually goes for the Force of Nature. It's not StanCifka's style, I don't think. I think StanCifka likes the plays which are a bit more steady, a bit more stable. No Unstable Ghoul, though, unfortunately, for StanCifka there.
Yeah, and as soon as he starts playing those Innervates, that becomes a bit of an issue. I mean, I could see a play, like a world in which he just goes for a kill on the Stone Splinter Trog when the Shade's a 4-4, and then plays the Lotheb. Because as long as the Shade's more than 1 health left over from whatever it does, he's going to be able to get himself
Tony comes down on the field, going to say to StanCifka, can you deal with this guy? Can you leave him alive? Because if you can't, I'm going to be throwing fireballs around, and it's going to hurt.
So StanCifka here, he's running into the problem as well of not being able to innervate without buffing the Stone Splinter Trog. It sounds ridiculous to say, but it is a big deal. Now, he can always Lotheb. It will deny the Archmage Antonidas' value, so he kills the Stone Splinter Trog, then he goes for Innervate, Lotheb, but he is still taking a substantial amount of damage just from the board, and unless he top decks a combo, he can't seal the game immediately.
So tough for StanCifka, and this is why the matchup can be really bad. I mean, Patient Assassin did swing this a lot. Yeah. I know, that was some really good shredder RNG in Orange's favor there, because it just kind of locked out some of his plays. But Lorcacho, of course, made
it
a
was
small
a little
impact.
funny. I don't know, it forced Orange to play around it at the very least, but it didn't go crazy. You know, there was an answer.
There was an answer there, indeed. It's so tough. I don't know, it's such a tough spot. I guess you just, maybe the Druid of the Claw? It doesn't matter, because the Patient Assassin is just, yeah, it's really, really hard.
Lotheb will deny that, and now he's going to keep the Shade stealth, and I'm not sure what he's hoping for. Now, Orange has extra damage from the Archmage being played with from the Stone Splinter Trog with the 2 Innervates, but now Orange has to think, do I want to trade? Do I really want to let my opponent get a combo? Maybe he's sitting on those cards. Maybe he's telegraphing that he has it. I think right now StanCifka is banking on that assumption.
Oh, a shredder! That is incredible. More pressure on the board. You can actually just start trading away here, and he still puts a lot of threat on StanCifka with double fireball in his hand.
Yeah, I like the trading plays here from Orange. What it means is that he's guaranteed to kill his opponent regardless, and he's also safe with the combo.
And Mirror Entity is there as well, so if he plays, I don't know, Druid of Claw and Taunt, he gets his own Taunt, so he gets more pressure. I mean, you can play a Spirant, but
I mean, what happens here is he knows Archmage already gave a Fireball, which effectively means that there is no way for him to live if he goes to next turn without healing and leaving the Archmage up. So what he had to get here is a way to kill the Archmage, a way to you know, assume that maybe Orange didn't have another Frostbolt or Fireball in hand. Unfortunately, Tempo Mage does what it does against Druid, and it takes the win.
Yep, Orange 1-0 up. This game really doesn't matter to Orange, but it matters a lot to StanCifka. The difference between him having to play a tiebreaker for a spot in tomorrow's bracket, or just having a good night, basically, of being able to relax and prepare for tomorrow. Yeah,
StanCifka, after this, if he ends up losing this series and Kolento wins the next one, we will have tiebreaker. There will be a 3-way tie between Dog, StanCifka, and Kolento, which is going to force them to play a few matches in order to determine who goes through.
Rehydrating there, Orange, getting that water down.
Yeah, and StanCifka not eating oranges, unfortunately.
Not crushing oranges.
Yeah.
Wow, you can still crush oranges, depends how the game goes.
Put them in a blender, just like prove a point.
So Orange's Patron Warrior makes his debut in this tournament. It has been banned every other time. I haven't seen Orange play this deck much, if I'm quite honest.
Yeah, I've seen him play Control Warrior quite a few times in the past. Patron, not so much. But I have to assume, you know, with Zalay on his team, Zalay considered one, arguably, of the best Patron Warrior players. In fact, when you think about the deck, he's probably the first name that comes to mind. I think he will at least have had advice from the best.
Yeah, and maybe even some practice sessions to get him up to speed on the deck, to kind of learn the deck even more. That's the benefit of having such talented players in your team and being friends with them as well, because you can tap into their kind of knowledge and increase your skill and your game knowledge at the same time.
So StanCifka here's got a really awkward starting hand. Orange, with the Frothing Berserker, knows that it's an amazing tempo play when you're on the coin. He does run a version with the Dread Corsairs, not something you see systematically, but in the more aggressive metagame, it could make sense.
I was seeing a lot of the Russian players in the European qualifiers running the Dread Corsairs and Loot Hoarders over, say, the Gnomish event. So, you know, there's some variation to the Patron decks. There's not one set list. It did used to bounce around quite a lot. Shield slams, shield blocks. You know, there's a lot of variation going around.
Yeah, there were about... it took a long time before the deck actually stabilized to what we now call Patron Warrior, and we think about it as a standard list, but initially, you know, the card draw was a little lower. Some people went all in on it, playing just every single source of card draw they could. Other ones went for more burst. The Dread Corsair made its appearance at some point to play a more defensive game against the Hunters, who then eventually got phased out.
We had Dr. Booms and Groms in
Right.
Patron at one point as well. But Patron, unfortunately, this kind of variation is on the decline. It's going to meet its maker very soon in the upcoming patch. But
we might see Dr. Boom and Grom come back, though. Right?
I think so. It definitely be tested. And Loot Hoarder, so this is kind of the Loot Hoarder Dread Corsair variation, which I saw some of the Russian players playing in the European BlizzCon qualifiers. So, yeah, it's interesting.
Now, one question. If you're Orange, I'm guessing you're just going to play Loot Hoarder on its own. But what if you decide to go for a coin frothing? Would you absolutely have to have the Acolyte of Pain to play with Inner Rage to justify that?
Maybe not. It depends. I mean, if an Aspirant comes down, you don't really have a way to deal with it. It kind of sucks. But a Frothing would be a better card to challenge it than the Loot Hoarder, simply because a Hero Power just deals the Loot Hoarder and Aspirant can stick around. He can keep the ramp. But even on its own, I think it's pretty good, because you can't answer with a swipe and you can't answer with a wrath straight away.
Not yet, yeah, exactly.
So
I think it will all depend on what Orange gets, right? I mean, if he gets a Death Bite, maybe that will change his lines of play, depending. Oh yeah, now he wants to draw.
Yeah, definitely. Loot Hoarder's going to come down. You want to increase the value of your Emperor Foursome, draw more cards, and let that effect go off and hit the key cards. Frothing's not really a key card, but Whirlwinds definitely are. Patrons, Warsong Commander to some extent. It's all about the board with this matchup.
Yeah, Whirlwinds are great. Oh, that's one card he's going to be happy to have for Emperor Thorson. The Frothing Berserker can be very useful in this type of game. Now, Orange is overextending into swipe, right? He is overextending into swipe, but I think he's going to be happy if this consists of a swipe and not a Paladin Shredder turn. That's probably the reasoning.
Yep, it slows down StanCifka's board. He wants to be able to slow him down as much as... The more that StanCifka develops, the more trouble it creates for Orange. And as soon as he finds a Patron, if he finds the next 2-3 turns, he has the inner range Whirlwind combo, which will make 4 Patrons and cause a lot of
havoc.
A lot of trouble for StanCifka.
So we'll see what StanCifka ends up doing here. Now, this Shade is insurance. You know, if patrons come out, it's at least one patron out of the way. Then you have to use Wraths and maybe a swipe left over to finish off the board. Because usually when, you know, turn 5 or 6 hits, 4 patrons are up. You need to kill one that has, 2 of them have 3 health. One has 2, one has 1. So you really need 2 sources of damage with the additional swipe. It's very difficult to pull off, but the Shade gives you that extra little bit of removal.
Oh, the rope is burning.
Yeah, it looks a bit difficult. Would you consider just going for a Keeper of the Grove to kill the Loot Hoarder, or are you just better off using your Hero Power and Wild Grove?
I think Hero Power is fine here. Keeper of the Grove might be able to hit a patron later on, especially if he gets that combo down. It might be one of his only sources of removal.
Yeah.
So he's just being a bit careful. Wild Growth will definitely help that as well. He'll ramp him up a little bit further than when that patron turn comes down, and he may be able to squeeze a Wrath in. You have that Shade to be able to trade in, so it gives him a lot more versatility at least. Dread Corsair Blood and Plunder.
So he's protecting the Frothing, and he's also protecting his investment in Emperor Thorson later if he ever wants to drop it. If he wants to go for it now, this top deck from StanCifka is actually just a godsend because he's got the Drake and he can innervate out a Wrath to clear the board.
Yep, you can have a nice board clear here. With the Shade, if you want to go into the Dread Corsair, Wrath is going to obviously be buffed by the spell power, doing 4 damage. So, and you might even find something better off the Drake. I don't think there is anything better.
I guess another Shade might be something you consider. You go Azure Drake, Innervate, Shade, but then what if Orange is holding on to 2 Whirlwinds and then some crazy combinations and ends up just wiping you with that 1 Frothing? It feels a little risky.
Alright, what does Drake find? Another Keeper of the Grove.
That's good. It's going to substitute for perhaps the Wrath when the patrons come down. It's going to kill one of the minions. None of them on 3 health, of course, but it's going to kill something. Uh-oh, this is getting scary.
So is it Thorson time? I don't know if it is. You've got 2 slams in hand. I'd like to cycle them first. I want Thorson to hit the key cards.
I think I agree with you. I like the slam here on the Azure Drake. See what you get, and then from there, reevaluate. I think Patron is the one deck that has been tier 1 for a long time now. That is probably the most dependent on what you're holding right now and what you expect to find. You have to reevaluate on every single card.
I mean, you can potentially slam into Fiery Warax, into Death Spite, and then he can use his coin. He could just go for the Thorson play here if he feels what he has in his hand is good enough to be hit by it. Hitting the Whirlwinds is super good anyway, but I think he did have some time if he wanted to take it. Actually uses an Inner Rage on us.
Very aggressive play. I mean, he does get 2 perspective. Is it risky to overextend with Dr. Boom? Ever?
Turn 6, I would say not at this point. I mean, what would you need? You'd need Frothing, Warsong,
Double Whirlwind with really good boom balls that don't kill your stuff.
Yeah,
it's not risky at this point. So
no, I don't think so. I think Dr. Boom is fine. If you're going to play Dr. Boom now, is definitely a good time. But StanCifka will take into consideration some of the other things. Patron,
yeah, definitely.
Warsong,
exactly.
Double Whirlwind is a whole different ball game, so he does have to take that into consideration.
All right, well, StanCifka will count on his boombots if something goes wrong to carry him, and right now he's right. I mean, there's nothing that Orange can really do to punish him. He's got the slam to draw cards. He can go here now that he picked up a patron for a Grim Patron, slam your patron, double Whirlwind, a lot of crazy stuff, but waiting for the Warsong is probably the better idea.
Oh, wow.
Wow, this is scary.
He doesn't go for it, though.
Yeah, he wants to bide his time with the Warsong Commander, it seems. I don't dislike this. I mean, it's a very patient play. Uh-oh.
And there's a Frothing.
StanCifka's gonna have to find... I mean, wait, he can go for Druid of the Claw with Savage Roar. Is that... how much damage is that? 11, 12, 13? He's got 21.
21.
Right.
Almost there. Well, not almost. He's still at least 10 damage off. But that patron turn is going to be super scary.
StanCifka might want to kill his own boombots, right? Like, you just go face, and then you Keeper of the Grove both of them.
I don't know. I don't know about that.
So
Keeper of the Grove interacts better with patron than boombot.
Of course, yeah.
So
boombots are insurance.
Yeah, boombots could actually play in your favor and clear the patrons before anything really happens. I mean, if you get a good boombot, it might do 3 damage to the freshly spawned one. And there's another thing. There's a lot of ways it can go. I'm not going to work them all out. Too many answers there.
So StanCifka is saying, if you have lethal here, then take it. You're more than welcome to it. And there's a chance that Orange just has it, right? With the Frothing and the Warsong Commander. I don't think the patrons alone can do it, can they? Because you're looking at 5, 8, plus 6.
Even if he doesn't find the lethal...
Actually, yeah, he's actually got, if not lethal, very close to it. But the boombots could ruin his plans.
The thing is, even if he didn't have the lethal, being able to develop a crazy patron board like this against Druid will more than likely win you the game. And look at that, he gets hit with 1. So he gets an extra 3-3 here.
He has a free trade here on Dr. Boom.
For the 5. Yeah, get rid of the 5-1. The 5-1, you don't want to be hit by the Boombot. Alright.
No.
So you can hit for 2, maybe Whirlwind then, and see where things go.
I like that.
You're bound to get at least 1, which you can trade into the cat if you need to.
Exactly.
Well, actually, you're guaranteed 2.
He's guaranteed to get 2, and the third one as well. He's just that at this point the Boombot would at least have to kill one of those. StanCifka, does he have a win condition at this point? How does he win this? So Keeper of the Grove, let's say the Warsong Commander, what's your follow-up?
Combo is the only way he could have won. And he already used the Savage Roar in the previous turn to put pressure on Orange's health, so he doesn't have it.
Right now, all he's got is Keeper of the Grove, the War Song, and then Keeper of the Grove another one, and hope that's enough. That way, there's only 12 damage on Orange's side of the board, and maybe he doesn't find lethal. That seems like the only way out for StanCifka.
Yeah, I think so. So you need to use 2 Keeper of the Groves to clear up a couple of patrons. But you're 1 off, you can Battle Rage, there's a lot that can happen.
A swipe here would kill a few things, not everything. I think swipe was actually the best out. Now he's dead on board.
Oh, and he finds a Death Spite anyway, so it wouldn't have mattered if he did keep a 2 of them.
Right, with the Battle Rage anyway, I think he was going to draw at least a weapon at some point, if not something even better. So Orange is going up 2-1. 2-0 over StanCifka. And as we said, if StanCifka loses, this is potentially, going to break the brackets.
And we don't want a broken bracket, do we?
I don't mind tiebreakers, but I think the players will be very surprised. I mean, if StanCifka loses here and he has to go in a 3-way tie, Kalento currently is... he still has to win against Cypher in order for this to happen. And if he does, then he's going to have a chance to come back in. He's on his home turf. He's doing very poorly so far in the event. RNG is not going his way at all in the games that he plays. And it would be great to see him maybe have a chance.
But Orange here, queuing up a really good matchup against the Handlock, getting the fast Druid, the mid-range Druid. It's not looked good for StanCifka in the series so far. He's just not had enough oomph to push through.
Right, I think the oomph is exactly right. That's he has plays, and throughout the tournament so far, we were talking about this earlier. He likes the control play style a lot more. It gives you flexibility as to what you want to do, and right now it seems like the options just don't show up.
And maybe that comes from the Magic background. Like I know another Magic player who, he's still a Magic player. He plays Hearthstone as well. He really likes control. Looking at the way Kibler plays ladder as well. Let's play like Dragon Mage and stuff like that. Another Magic player. So maybe that's just something that comes from kind of the MTG background. I know that's a very big generalization, but from some of the pros I've met who played Magic, they do like that style because it feels a bit comfortable, feels a bit familiar.
Yeah, I think a lot of Magic Gathering players like the control style, right? Over there you can deny much more. It's a much more viable strategy in Magic the Gathering than it is in Hearthstone, right? In Hearthstone, everything is very board-centric. So when you play something like Handlock, which StanCifka is doing, you basically don't pay too much attention to the board because effectively you don't need to. You just play big guys, and once in a while you wipe the board and you reset until you eventually go through.
So Orange going to play his second Aspirant here, plays nicely into that Hellfire in StanCifka's hand, gets to burn the coin, and he will lose his ramp, which will take him down to 4 mana?
3 mana and then 4. So he needs to find a Shredder, a Keeper of the Grove, or a Shade. Keeper of the Grove you would not play here, but he does have to find that.
He had no choice there. I mean, he could have played around Hellfire, but I think you'd rather the pressure and him not having Hellfire.
Right, because if you had Dark Bomb here, you were in the exact same spot either way. Now that's a very dry turn for Orange, and I think this is exactly what StanCifka needed. He needed a turn with breathing room to do anything.
Hero Power Pass.
Savage Roar. But 2 damage is better than 1.
He's highlighting it, he's thinking about it.
I don't know about that. I mean, maybe so, because he doesn't think the game will last very long.
But Double Savage Roar might play a vital role into his victory later on. If he manages to stabilize his board, and then he has Double Savage Roar to push some burst, that might actually just be better. Raw Savage Roar on turn 4 just seems crazy. Orange loses his mind all of a sudden.
I kind of like it, though. It's just proving a point.
Ballsy play.
Do you think I need this card? Oh, Shredder's 1 turn late. Little acknowledgement smile from Orange here, who realizes this guy could have been here earlier and saved me a little bit of a headache.
I think I like Lotheb here. Plays around Mortal Coil.
It does give StanCifka and Jiraxis though, so... Wow, StanCifka with the big demon.
And
This
the
is
Forsen
going
as
to
well.
be devastating if it gets taunted up.
And this is the power of Jiraxis from hand going to board. Some classes don't have hard removal, and when he gets taunted up, it's just super hard to deal with him. For a 416, some aggro decks will silence him, but he's still a 315. That's going to trade into everything.
Exactly, he's still a massive minion. Now Orange needs to figure out a way to win the game, because right now the board, if it gets taunted up, is going to require that you use Keeper of the Grove on some level or another, right? So playing Lotheb here means that he's hoping to get maybe something like a Savage Roar. I mean a Force of Nature next turn to go for the combo and win immediately. But the taunts will just deny him that.
Now you said that StanCifka can be quite a greedy player.
Let's see.
Forsen looks very tasty here, but Argus just looks super solid. You can actually silence.
I like that, keeping the Jiraxis very healthy.
And now we can trade. That's excellent.
Would you maybe have considered... No, never mind. This is a good play. No swipe as well from Orange, who is in the world of hurt right now. Now that 416 is proving a bit difficult to handle.
Really hard for some classes to deal with. They have to either punch through it with damage or just silence it, like I said earlier, and it's still there, wrecking havoc. So.
And the thing is, you're still worried about another taunt giver coming down. You know, you silence it once, and then a Sunfury Protector shows up, and there it goes again. You have to find another source of silence. This gets worse and worse.
Druid of the Claw doesn't seem too bad. Maybe it's worth just Ancient of Lauren here just to try and find the rest of the combo. But even
I feel like you need the double combo to win.
Yeah, I think you do. I do agree with that. The Innovate will play a key role, I think, in finishing the game off.
I mean, if you do get just a single combo, it might be sufficient because you can silence out the Jiraxis. So here he's playing into one combo play, get the Keeper of the Grove next turn down with the Shredder, get rid of Jiraxis. Goodness if he top decks a Force of Nature. Thorson is very scary here.
Can trade away the little guy's Mortal Coil for Cycle here, so the 416 taunt stays healthy, stays in the way, protecting the Forsen and reducing his hand.
Yeah, and StanCifka with the Void Caller Shadow Flame play, if he wants it, whenever he wants it, basically, it could happen, and Mal'Ganis is going to come out and protect him for a while to come.
There's a lot of burst potential coming from his hand as well. Double Dart Bomb, Mal'Ganis obviously buffing the Jiraxis, so gives him a lot of reach towards in the next few turns if he needs to close out the game.
Yeah, he's got 17 damage next turn if he wants it and nothing changes, but the odds of nothing changing are pretty slim. And Orange is thinking, I'm just going to give him something to answer. Take that, you know.
And ramp up. I like the ramp here because he's playing towards the double Savage Roar. He did use Innovate before, but he does have one more.
Yeah, he could just find a single Force of Nature here. He can play it. Just look at Savage Roar here. You know, 4 mana total. You get Force of Nature next turn for a total of 22 burst. And that could just be enough to power through. And if StanCifka plays defensively and doesn't, you know, attack phase and goes full on with aggression, there's a chance you're just able to take it. But looking at this, we have 9 on board, 6 from Dark Bond, so 15, and 5 more from the Doomguard. So really, StanCifka is 1 off lethal.
He's so close, and this is the strength with Demon Lock. Just drops Mal'Ganis, gets a trade, still keeping a super healthy Jiraxis saves. Now a 613, another tick off the Forester. Going to make these Dark Bomb 0, Doomguard 4. A silence as well, even a taunt comes down, he's just not safe.
Yeah, basically nothing that Orange does here is going to save him, I don't think. We're looking here at the double Dark Bomb Doomguard. You can even Shadow Flame the Void Caller. Doomguard is also buffed by the Mal'Ganis. So StanCifka is setting up for lethal, and he's going to get it no matter what Orange does.
Orange going for the motion of the plays here. Doesn't quite believe he's out of the game yet. Hoping this taunt will be able to protect him, but Iron Beak Owl will be enough to handle the burst from hand.
Yeah, I'm not even sure he needs that. Basically, StanCifka's got all the damage in the world if he wants to take it, and he's dead on board with the double Dark Maul.
StanCifka finds a game here.
But the equalization streak where you just reverse sweep your opponent?
I don't know. I mean, StanCifka has a lot of work to do with the Control Warrior matching up to the mid-range druid. Traditionally a very bad matchup. But we've seen some really good Control Warrior play from StanCifka this week. It's been absolutely incredible.
Right. I mean, the double Brawl in it as well, right? Let's just point that out for a second. Druid is not a matchup where you always assume that Brawl is going to be amazing, but when they end up, playing on curve, 3, 4, 5, getting a Brawl there, if they don't have a good follow-up, can be enough to equalize, if not set you ahead afterwards, because you can follow it up with Shield Maidens. He's got Justicar Trueheart, putting him out of reach as well.
Oh, he goes for the Warrior as well, so you can get this bad matchup out of the way, get a win with this, and then it comes down to a Druid Mirror. Gets a Fiery War Axe. Really important now for the Warrior, dealing with those Aspirants, because they just create too much pressure for the Warrior to deal with in the early game, and the ramp is also a big deal.
Yeah, it really modifies the way you mulligan your deck, and Orange has a fairly clunky hand that curves well into the mid game, however, and because we're talking about Control Warrior, this is going to be a game that should technically last for a long time.
Should technically, but I think it will last quite a fair amount of time, mainly because of how clunky Orange's hand is for the early game. Wild Growth is actually going to make things a lot better here. What a good top deck for Orange there. Yeah. And let him be able to play some of these slower minions a lot faster.
We saw StanCifka, he pulled a face that meant, oh, that spells trouble. As soon as he heard the sound. I don't even know if you saw it. He heard the sound and his face shifted.
But, oh, not that Wild Growth. No, I thought I was having a good day.
Everything seemed to go well. He didn't have anything early.
There's an Aspirant. Interesting. Silencing the Acolyte Pain, I like this.
Yeah, I like it a lot more. I mean, if you go Aspirant Wrath, you're feeding the Aspirant into the War Axe. You give him the initiative on a good follow-up. Whereas if you go for the Keeper, you deny the card draw, which you're already way ahead, and you're going to stay ahead with the Azure Drake and the Ancients of Lore. I like it.
A low fab would be really good here to get. Oh, or Druid of Claw. You want the stats here. I don't think you should put the Azure Drake because the Acolyte Pain almost gets a 2-for-1 with that Fiery War Axe. At least you force StanCifka to do some more work here. Maybe use some more resources in order to clear out this Druid.
What I like about the play too is that it opens up an Azure Drake coin Wrath on the following turn, which is then followed with Ancient of Lore. So it's giving Orange a lot more, like a lot of a better curve, and is giving his Wrath a bit more reach in case it's needed.
Back-to-back Ancient of Lores could just win the game for Orange.
Yeah, I mean the Brawl in StanCifka's hand is very important. We have to keep that in mind as well.
Being able to find so many answers, so many minions. I mean, sometimes, although Brawl's really good, luckily StanCifka has 2 of them. Sometimes it doesn't matter. You can Brawl a board, and then the Druid just go bam, bam, 2 more minions, deal with that.
StanCifka has 2 Cruel Taskmasters, right, with Big Game Hunters. We've seen those before. They didn't really do much so far in the Druid matchup. He's not run into too many of those.
But they do target stuff like Ancient of Lore with the Cruel Taskmaster. Ancient of War, I don't think we've seen one from Orange just yet.
No, I think Cypher was running a Druid that managed to fit in the Ancients of War, but not from Orange.
Coin Ancient of Lore? Is there anything else?
I like it. It's straightforward, but it works, and the only answer StanCifka would have here is something like another Execute with a Cruel Task, or Shield Slam being pulled, a Bash, but we haven't seen those.
They're not the greatest of draws, Wild Growth especially not. Innovate may find some use later on.
Oh man, StanCifka says, you know what, if I ever need anything in this matchup, it's probably the armor and Orange. Actually, this is an amazing draw.
That is incredible. So he can actually Ancient of Lore again if he wants, draw more cards, the next turn on 8, he has Emperor for a Sun, with an Innovate to back that up. He can even Innovate Wrath now, actually.
Right now, yeah.
So that's even better. So draw more cards, 2 5/5s, Wrath the 6/3.
Yeah, I don't think these Brawls will be anywhere near enough to handle what Orange is throwing StanCifka's way, but we may yet be surprised. You know, what if the double combo is at the bottom of the deck and nothing ever comes from it? We'll see, but StanCifka is going to be in a world of hurt. This extra armor is going to be very important.
But no, he could take the hit with that Shield Maiden. He could throw his axe into one of them, execute it, and then Shield Maiden after.
I could see that. I mean, it does remove a minion from the board. Are you ever greedy enough? I mean, do you have to kill them? What if you just play one Shield Maiden, let Orange overextend if need be, and then Brawl, right?
That's a potential, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you can still go Brawl, Cruel Task, Execute on 8. So you can kill whatever's left.
StanCifka agrees, you know, just sit back, let Shield Maiden gain you some armor, and see if Orange will actually overextend.
Yeah, Orange can go for, what, you know, Keeper of the Grove with Swipe on the Shield Maiden and punch for 10, putting StanCifka even further behind.
I like just maybe force and trade one Ancient of Law. And that plays around. Brawl must be on his mind. So you want to limit the impact of Brawl. Trading is a very good way to limit its effectiveness, and he doesn't really lose too much at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, Thorison with the Narcissus Aspirant plus the trade, that's enough. You know, the Fiery War Axe might find a kill on the Aspirant. It's not really that big of a deal. And you get a reduction on everything else. And the Wild Growth becomes like 1 mana cycle instead of a 2 mana cycle later in the game. But for board presence purposes, you can just swipe Hero Power, swipe Keeper.
It looks like Orange is saying to StanCifka here, you're going to have to deal with my 5/5s before I push anything else on board.
Yeah, you don't seem to have an answer, right? Like, you don't seem to have an answer. No Shield Slams, maybe another Execute, but you don't want to face tank another 5. Just deal with it. Not what StanCifka wants to find either.
He needs a Shield Slam to go with that Shield Maiden. He might have to just execute here if he feels this is too much pressure, because next turn is turn 9. You've seen him draw 2 lots of cards from Ancient of Law. He must be thinking in the back of his head, combo must be there, at least some of it. I can't risk waiting around.
Yeah, and the more minions he's got on the board for the Brawl as well, the more likely it is that it will be even better than when you only do it when the opponent has minions. So there's that as well. Orange finds the first piece of the combo in the Savage Roar, and with all the draw that he had so far, he's got to be pretty close to the Force of Nature.
So Drake can come down here and get the Force of Nature. Piloted Shredder would be good as well. Stickier, forces him maybe to use his axe first on it before he brawls.
I like it. To play it slowly, surely, I mean, you could go for Darnassus Aspirant with the Wild Growth to cycle a card immediately, but it's not necessary. The Shredder is a much more board-centric play.
Look at the hand advantage Orange has over StanCifka right now. He has so many more options, and he just has enough minions in his hand to recharge his board after 1 brawl, potentially even 2 brawls.
Yeah, but the Brawl here, if it does a lot of work, which it looks like it will, you look at the double Brawl from StanCifka, even if Orange gets another wave of it, if StanCifka starts drawing into the Shield Slams, he's still able to keep in this game. And the little Taskmaster stays alive.
Oh, that lines up really nicely there with the Fiery War Axe. This may be what StanCifka needs to start stabilizing a little bit, but Orange just has so many cards in hand. And there's the Force of Nature.
Keeper of the Grove with Sylvanas could be the way to go, or Keeper of the Grove with Emperor, that is. Lowering the cost of that.
Oh, for sure. Emperor needs to come down now while you've got the combo, because if you find another Savage Roar, it gives you even more reach to finish him off.
Oh man, StanCifka is going to be happy that he gets another Brawl, though. It didn't look like there was any chance that he would. And now, Orange, by not going for Keeper of the Grove, is giving StanCifka a little bit more value on the Brawl and potential to stabilize. Sludge Belcher contests the Aspirants if they live. If the 2-2 live, then all the better. I mean, and the cool thing is with Brawl, if the 2-2, I mean, the 2 Aspirants die, Orange is down to 8.
No, that's true. The thing is with Brawl, if he just raw brawls now and the Forest stays alive, he doesn't have an efficient way to deal with it. He can just drop the Belcher.
It might be an all-in play, right?
Yeah, I think you kind of have to go for it.
And what stays alive? It is not the Thorison, it is the Aspirant. And now StanCifka has the opportunity to go for Death's Bite. He's down if he does that to... He's got enough health to tank the combo. He's
I think
be on
so.
23.
But Forson will be playing in the back of his mind. What did it hit? Did it hit 2 Savage Roars? Did it hit 2 Force of Natures?
Exactly.
So I think Belcher is probably the safer play here, because it does tank some of the damage these Force of Nature combos can do. So now, Orange has seen 2 Brawls. So he can go crazy with his board. He can develop as much as he wants now, because there is no way StanCifka is going to be able to deal with a board like that unless he, say, gets Ysera's Awakening off Ysera.
Something
Baron Geddon.
absolutely crazy.
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
Yeah, I understand. So Orange still has, the Keeper of the Grove. He can take out the Belcher if he wants to. So, I mean, that can always, he's got 7. It costs him 10 mana to go Keeper, Savage Roar, Force of Nature, like all together.
Seems like he likes to swipe here. Hero power. The problem with this, he doesn't really. Oh, he can keep the token, I suppose.
It works. I mean, it puts a lot of bodies on the board, and that makes the potential Savage Roar even better. But StanCifka has the opportunity here with the Shield Maiden to stay even safer if he wants to.
And this way for Sylvanas.
Does that change anything? I feel like he's going to have to kill at least the Keeper of the Grove.
He needs the armor, I think. A bit too much at the moment.
Yeah, Shield Maiden. I feel like Shield Maiden with the Death Bite is consistent with his previous game plan, which seems to be let's survive a combo. However, if there is a Force of Nature Savage Roar here, all that Orange has is 19 damage with his hero power on top, right? Even if you hit one combo. So Sylvanas may be the better long-term plan because then you can go Shield Maiden armor up on the following turn.
StanCifka takes.
That's game over right there, I think. The combo for 7 plus an extra Savage Roar, and that is going to seal it. Orange goes up 4-1 in the entire tournament.
Wow, Orange has put on an amazing performance. For someone who came to the tournament late, he came to the party late, his invite kind of came out of nowhere.
Right.
Didn't expect it, he did come here for a different reason. But now Orange probably feels pretty happy with what happened. Oskaka dropping out again. They play in the double elimination bracket tomorrow, have a shot at some prize money and some glory.
Yeah, I think overall, StanCifka was banking on winning against Patron, but Orange got the win very easily, and the rest of his lineup wasn't that bad against StanCifka. It was in fact pretty good. So he ended up taking the entire series. StanCifka now losing means that maybe the brackets will be upset.
Yep, if Kolento can win this next game, or Cypher actually. What's Cypher's score?
So Orange,
it's 1-3, he's out no matter
again.
what. Even if he wins, he's
You're
lost to
up
the other
today.
two runner-ups.
And how does it feel to be in playoff? This match actually didn't change anything for you, but you've showed your professionalism, so how does it feel?
It definitely feels good. Coming into as a replacement for StanCifka, I feel like I really want to prove myself that I deserve to be here because I haven't earned my spot the same way that others have. So I'm definitely really happy to prove that with a 4-1 record in the round robin stage here.
And who would you rather meet in playoff?
Oh, it depends who qualifies, of course. I would like to have a rematch against Thais at some point, but I guess that is not going to happen because we will go in as first or second seed.
And I have a special questions because the female part of our staff is very interesting. How do you do the hair? Your hair look like this because we know how difficult it is. So what's your secret?
Lots and lots of hair products.
Okay, thank you. We're satisfied. Congratulations again. Thank you. And now we go back to our guests.
Orange looking super happy with his victory there. We have one match left for the day here, Kolento versus Cypher, and this is the big one because this is Kolento's opportunity to get a victory, make a tiebreaker, and come back.
Yeah, if he does win, we'll have to actually have tiebreaker matches being played. So we'll have the word from the admins as soon as that happens, if it happens. As far as Cypher goes, though, even if he wins, he has lost against the other two runner-ups, so there would be no three-way tie. So Cypher is officially out, but Kolento has a chance to come back.
Cypher can be the killer of dreams in this next game, letting Kolento have an opportunity to fight back. And he is on, he's on his home turf here. He's playing in Ukraine. He's playing at a LAN event as well. So for him, I would think he'd want to win and be able to show his countrymen that he can win on their soil.
Yeah. All right, guys, so we'll be taking a short break before we move on to the last match, technically, of the day. So, guys, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after the break.